I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I mean, we just got here, and we have more than enough food to get us through the winter, right? Why go back? But there was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant.
Ooh.
One ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss, they're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
Well, how about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. All you ants, ideas are very dangerous things.
You are mindless, soil-shoving losers, put on this earth to serve us.
You're wrong, Hopper. Ants are not meant to serve grasshoppers. I've seen these ants do great things. And year after year, they somehow manage to pick food for themselves and you. So who is the weaker species? Ants don't serve grasshoppers. It's you who need us. We're a lot stronger than you say we are. And you know it, don't you?
Well, Princess.
Hopper, I hate to interrupt, but,
You ants stay back!
Oh, this was such a bad idea.
You see, Hopper, nature has a certain order. The ants pick the food, the ants keep the food, and the grasshoppers leave.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories.
We have got to realize we're being conditioned on a mass scale. I don't know about you, but I'm concerned with what's happening in this world. I'm concerned with destruction. I'm concerned with the systems of control, those that control my life and those that seek to control it even more.
Listen, I know what tyranny means. I know the bankers are putting poison in our food and water. I know the bankers have stolen 8.5 trillion. I know we're under War Powers Act. I know they're hurting us. I know they're carrying out New World Order. I know they've staged those terror attacks. You know what it's like to gut up to this and go out every day and go past the peer pressure and come out day one and say 9/11 was an inside job and lose most of the radio stations I was on? You know what it's like to go to sleep every night knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers and you bastards are probably going to end up killing me one day? You know what it's like knowing you've ruined my life? You know what it's like, you sons of bitches?
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories.
series of secondary explosions after the aircraft impacted, whether in fact there wasn't something else at the base of the towers that in fact were the coup de grace to bring them to the ground. I'm concerned with destruction. I'm concerned with the systems of control.
You know, there's a number of these animated movies that have come out, which have told the story. Basically, there was A Bug's Life
and
came
ants.
out where a few grasshoppers were controlling millions of ants through fear and intimidation, and the way they did it and the words spoken by the leader grasshopper about what you need to do for the few to control the world were absolutely straight off the pages of Illuminati, mass mind control technical manual. Really, I mean, they do tell this story. It's and there's another one that just ants, just called Ants, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
That was another story of how millions of ants were being led to total destruction by a few leaders. You know, the tail's wagging the dog. That's the thing. And you know, I was looking at it because obviously now I'm turning my mind to Australia because nearly coming there because I like to research places as close to the time that I'm going as possible because then it's all fresh in my mind. But I saw the Australian population is 22 million according to what I saw this morning. 22 million. When you look at the resources of Australia, and you've got a population of 22 million, if those resources were shared out even vaguely fairly, then no one would want for anything on Australia. No one would want for anything. It's ridiculous. The size of the country, the resources of the country, the population size of the country, it should be a paradise. Same in Canada, but it's not because the few hijack all the wealth and resources, and the people doing that are agents of this cabal, and it's happening in every country. And Australia is a blatant example of it because the population is so small in relation to its resources that anyone is hungry in Australia. Anyone doesn't have decent house in Australia. Anyone wants for anything in Australia. It's ridiculous in a society in which a country is run for its citizens instead of its citizens being run for the people running the country.
Well, when you want to talk about want, when you come here, if you get the opportunity, and you may do as you go to Alice Springs, the conditions under which the original people of this country live, I mean, want doesn't even come close. And
yeah, but you see, they have to destroy those people. They have to. You go into Africa, you go into any of these countries where the West has taken over, and they target and marginalize and suppress the native peoples because they carry knowledge from the ancient world that is the controllers do not want the public to have access to.
Have you heard of the card that has been issued to the indigenous population that controls their money?
What's that one?
I can't think what it's called now, the blue card or the green card.
Right.
Their government payments, because for most of them there's no work available, they can't get a job. Many of them are living on government benefit. But now most of their government benefit is paid into a particular card. It looks like a credit card or a debit card. And that can only be spent at particular shops. And it can only be spent on particular items. And they're told that it's for their own good, which always gets my back up, that it's to prevent them from spending their money on tobacco and alcohol and things. Then a very small proportion of it is actually given to them into their bank account in cash. Most of them live in these communities, or one that I'm aware of that I've spoken to, one of the elders there, her community is a several hours bus trip away from any shops. The only way to pay for the bus is in cash. The very little cash they get is enough to pay for the bus, which takes them then to the shops where they can buy specific things only. They cannot buy children's toys. They cannot buy their own child a birthday or Christmas present. It's not on the list of approved items. There's so much that's not on the list of approved items. It's not funny. And that's how they're being controlled now. And that's only working at the moment in the Northern Territory, but they've just decided to bring it into Redfern, I believe, in Sydney. And
well, I tell you, what you're describing is what they want to be the situation for everybody
yes.
in the brave new world. This is the thin end of the wedge, the starting of the process. This is what they want to do to everybody.
And this is where the quote that you talk about too, you mentioned it in the recent book that came out of the Nazi Germany, about at first they came for, I can't remember the quote, at first they came for the Jews and I wasn't
first they
Jewish.
came for the Jews and I wasn't a Jew, so I did nothing. Then they came for the communists and I was not a communist, so I did nothing. Then they came for the trade unionists and I was not a trade unionist, so I did nothing. Then they came for me and there was no one left to speak out for me.
Yes, and that's something I think all Australians need to be reminded of right now.
Yeah, it's something I emphasize a lot. If you think that injustice for others is not your problem, well, eventually it will be, because the knock will eventually come on your door. Because what they do, and they're doing, is picking off different sections of society, demonizing them, and then when that's all sorted and people say, well, it's not my problem, I don't like them anyway. You don't have to like them, mate, but it's an injustice. Do you only challenge injustice against people you like? And anyway, then, oh God, yeah, turn me thing off. And then we have a situation where they go to the next one and they do the same to them. Then they go to the next group, they do the same to them. And then eventually you reach the situation with the pastor that said those words in Nazi Germany. Then they came for me and there was no one left to speak out for me. Mm. And at that point, it's too late. And it's not too late yet, but it's getting close. We need to start moving very fast.
Well, one thing I did like about your book is that even though we're talking about pretty heavy subject matter here, you do also show that there is a way out. There are solutions. And that, I think, is very, very important. There's enough people jumping up and down and screaming about what's wrong. We need to start talking about what's right and what can fix what's wrong. And, we need solutions.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we do, but I'll be talking about that. The whole of basically the last section of the 4 sections of my talk in Australia will be about that.
Yes, good.
And it's about removing. It's not so much solutions; it's removing the cause of the problem, and the cause of the problem is us. And we can cease, therefore, to be the cause of the problem. That's the great news. It is in our hands to a very large extent.
Yes.
Because the power that's used to control us is the power we give away to those controlling us every day. We take it back, it's over. But to do that, first of all, we've got to understand the true nature of who we are. We've got to understand the power we have from that, and we've got to let the fault lines of divide and rule go. Injustice against an Aborigine is an injustice against me, and I live in Britain. 13,000 miles away, is it? A long way anyway. It has to be like that, because otherwise injustice is like a cancer. It just grows and grows and grows and eventually hits you. And so we have to stand together. Like I think I said earlier about Jewish people in Israel standing together with Arab people in the Arab countries, because the masters of the Arabs and the masters of the Jewish people in Israel are just agents of the same force. That's why we have to stand together. And if we think, by the way, that politics is going to change anything, well, we'll think that forever and it'll never change. We have to change. We have to change the situation, not politicians. And one of the things that people do, appalling as so many politicians are, is we say to them, what are you going to do about it? Well, what's that doing? That's giving your power to these politicians you say are corrupt, and they are, who have this agenda. So when we say, what am I going to do about this, then the power comes the other way and we take it away from them. That's the direction the power needs to come, not towards them.
Yeah, there's another quote, which I don't even know who said it, but it was, I always said that somebody should do something until I realized I was somebody. Yeah,
I mean, what was it Gandhi said was the effect of you are the change you've been looking for, or you are the ones you've been looking for. You're the ones you've been waiting for. I mean, we wait for the cavalry to come over the hill with a bugle blaring, and we are the cavalry. So don't wait. Just look in the mirror, you'll see it.
It means unity. We've got to stop fighting each other before we're divided and ruled into total enslavement. The power that is used to enslave us is the power we give to the enslavers every day. They don't have power, they have our power. We give it to them. It means unity. 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 This world has been created as we experience it, by billions of people deciding every day, what do I do in the interests of me? Once we start saying, what do I do in the interests of justice, fairness and my own conscience, actions change, the world changes. And we are in control of that. If we stopped making decisions about our actions based on what is right for us in the moment and started doing what we knew to be right by conscience and justice, this world would transform. It needs unity. Unity. It means unity. So we might have a different religion or no religion. So we might be a Jew or a Muslim or a Christian, or might be black or white or sky blue, bloody pink. This is not a big brother global agenda to enslave Jewish people or to enslave Islamic people or to enslave white people middle class. It's a global agenda to enslave all of us. And if we don't unite and we go on being divided and ruled, then they will enslave all of us. If we unite, get rid of the nonsense fault lines of manufactured division, and then through unity of response and non-cooperation with our own enslavement, they will not be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, I better go and I'm sitting there. I've not even had a bath this morning.
I did get you just after you woke up, so.
I did. You did, yeah. But never mind. There's no one else here, and that's very comforting for anyone who might potentially be here and see me before I've had a bath.
Well, have a great day, and I look forward to meeting you when you come to Sydney.
That'll be great.
Lovely.